Wow, well, thank you so much for that kind introduction, Roy. Someone's been stalking me on the internet and getting my bio from somewhere, so thank you. And thank you everyone here for having me here today. It really is such an honour to receive this award from UTS. I'm thrilled and I'm really quite, I guess, humbled to be recognised at such a prestigious event and surrounded by so many accomplished people. It did give me pause to reflect back a little bit on my time at UTS when I was told I'd been nominated for this award. And for any of you who've been to school here, you would know that it's always fun looking back at your time at university and wondering, hey, what was I doing all those years ago? So reflecting back a little bit on my time at UTS, it kind of amuses me. I was working for Dick Smith Electronics at the time, a fledgling young manager with huge ambitions. And I decided that it was time for me to embark on my master's degree in business and marketing because I really hadn't been that paying much attention in my undergraduate, to be honest. So I thought, hey, best to do that. So I did my research and I checked out all of the different universities, and it is interesting to hear many of the deans and vice chancellors speaking tonight about the creativity of the university, the courses that are offered at UTS, because it was a creative structure of the business and marketing degree that was being offered at that time that made me think, it really spoke to me. I thought that sounds like the right degree for me. So I decided to go ahead and enrol in it. I then also did my research on how much that was going to cost me. And I thought, wow, now it's time to pluck up some courage to go and talk to the then managing director of Dick Smith. So I went into his office and, he was a great guy, pretty much an old school, sleeves rolled up type of retailer, who'd give you a slap on the back if you did a good job and a kick up the bum if you didn't do a good job, right? But he was great, and I walked in there and I said, Jeff, I'm just wondering, I'm thinking that I really want to start doing this master's degree at the University of Technology. And he looked at me and he said, haven't you already got a degree? And I said, well, yes, I do. And he says, don't you think one's enough? And I said, well, no, I think another one will be really good. So he says, okay, well, look, no one's ever asked me this before, so it seems as you're asking, yeah, why don't you go ahead and do it? We'll work out how to reimburse you after. So thanks to Dick Smith and the then owners Woolies for getting me on my way with my second degree. So I started at UTS, needless to say, met a bunch of fantastic people. Just a couple of semesters in, along came this opportunity to interview for a job at Intel. And I have to say that quite a few of my colleagues in the master's degrees were my coaches through that interview process. Many of them were working for multinational companies already, which I wasn't, and they gave me lots of tips and tricks on how to sort of get through in that second and third round interview process. So thanks to all of my old friends from uni for getting me through that. It's funny when I really think back to my time at UTS, so much happened during that very formative stage of my life. I moved in with my boyfriend and was still doing my degree. I landed the job at Intel. I was still doing my degree. I got married. I was still doing my degree. I had exams actually the week of the wedding, so that was pretty stressful. And then in my final year of handing in my final term paper, just months after I handed it in, I had my first child, Hannah, who's now 16 this year. So yeah, that was the biggest deadline of them all. So it really was one of the proudest moments in my life to turn up for graduation after all those years of study with my husband, who's here tonight, thanks darling, and our little bouncing baby who was very well behaved during the graduation ceremony and didn't cry at all. And I just have to say that, without the support of my family and in particular my husband, I don't really think I would have achieved as much or strived as hard as I did. So, thank you, darling, for all of your love and support. And finally, I would just like to thank my parents, John and Anne Burleigh, who I know will be very proud to hear about this award tonight, and I can't wait to go home and show it off to them. So thank you, everyone, and thank you again, UTS, for this lovely recognition.